Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. I apologize. My daughter woke up and came down here right before I hit the go live button, so I had to get her situated. Let's see who's in the chat and then we'll get into this. Mr. DJ Mines, my man, good to see you. Black Hat Team, Andrew Masad, Kirk, what's up, man? Good to see you. Nick K, Mr. Olo, I always am gonna mess up your name. I'm just gonna call you Olo. I apologize. Mr. Big Bolt Mining, good to see you. Trade Like Snipe, Kyle Rosa, Steven Cicero, Crypto KJ, Dom G, I know nothing. Everybody else I may have missed, I apologize, but let's get into this. All right, Bitcoin 56,659 bucks, down 1% today. Look at that. We got Ethereum at 23.22. We got Solana over here at 131. XRP's at 53 cents if anybody cares. ADA's at 33 cents. LTC, actually I just clicked on that by accident. Oh wow, it didn't take me there. Look at that. We are at 61.38. We have ETC at 18.29. Nice. Caspa down 0.88% at 16.3. Look at that, 16 cents. ICP is doing pretty good today. Look at that, it's up almost 8%, $8.58. Looking pretty good. Dogecoin just over 10 cents, just barely over 10 cents. We have BNB at 512 bucks. Toncoin is at $5.25. Not too bad. Everything's still on fire sale, people. Still a fire sale going on. All right, let's check out crypto bubbles over here. Biggest earner on the day is actually Aave over here, 8.3% up on the day, $150. Is anybody into Aave? Let me know. Actually, I don't really know much about that coin at all, to be honest. ICP 7.6% again up on the day, $8.58 over here according to crypto bubbles. We got AR, let's see, this is Arweave, 6.6% down today, $18.77. Near Protocols down 3.2 to $3.91. Celestia over here down 5.7% to $3.96. This is a great time to buy. This is a great time to buy. Let's see, the biggest loser today seems to be WIF, actually down 7.9% to $1.54. If you guys have any questions or anything in the chat as we go along, please just at me. Big Bolt, good to see you. It is going good. It is going good. Just busy in the mornings, man. It's crazy. Gonna get both my kids to school now, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Let's see. All right, anything else? Nothing really jumping out at me, to be honest. HNT's actually been pretty surprising lately, and I think HNT Mobile's been doing pretty good too, if I'm not mistaken. But we're down right now 4.2%, $7.69. I mean, personally, I'm not going to invest in the helium ever again, but that's just because they ruined me with the those miners they put out that went to complete shit and they took forever to send and all that stuff. Render 4.5% down today, just under $5. Man, that's actually a really good buying opportunity. $5, damn, that's really cheap. Man, I gotta get back into that. I have to get back into that. You're about to wake up your kid also. Yeah, dude, it's brutal. It's brutal. I swear, my daughter knows when I'm like up. She just like has this instinct that she gets up, comes right downstairs. It's crazy. Let's check out the week real quick. I don't usually do this, but let's see. Phantom 25.8% up on the week, 48 cents. Interesting. Is anybody into Phantom? Let me know. And then this Fetch AI one is up almost 20% on the week, $1.31. Not too bad. Crazy. All right, flashbang. Let's go to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, looking like a 37. Let me just double check. Yep, 37. Yesterday we were at a 33. Last week we were at a 27. We're climbing slowly. This is what we want. We want a slow climb, not a drastic needle move to the right, because that would just be bad. And you know, when things pump too fast, they come down even faster. It's pretty much how it goes, right? So each his own, do what you will. All right, so let's see trending coins today. Let me just refresh this. We have Toncoin top of the charts, Ethereum top of the charts for trending coins. Interesting. And Sundog, whatever the hell that is. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Toncoin in 10th place at a $13.2 billion market cap. We have Tron over here, TRX, in 11th place at a 13.24 actually. So Toncoin's only above it by like not much, 20 million, if that. Crazy. Crazy. Cardano over here, an $11.9 billion market cap. Cardano, I think, deserves to be in the top 10 again, but I guess we're gonna have to see. It's weird how Toncoin keeps changing their logo. Now they just got this little guy in the corner. So weird to me. All right, scrolling down a little bit. Litecoin in 24th, Near Protocol in 25th. An Internet Computer actually flipped Caspa. Interesting. Wow, that's a tight ass race. Holy hell. But they're both at a $4 billion market cap. 4 billion. Crazy. Caspa, you guys are gonna see some hopefully some explosive moves after this weekend. That's what we hope anyways, right? The KRC20 mainnet launch is actually happening. I showed this yesterday to you guys. It's going to be on September 15th of this month. It says after over a month of internal testing and 2 months of stress testing, we've processed over 90 million KRC20 transactions and everything is running smoothly. So shout out to that team. That's amazing. Perfect. All right, let's jump back over. Yeah, nothing I really want to talk about here actually. ETC is doing all right. I look at coins that are 80% down. You guys know the ones I'm looking at, so each his own. Let me know what coins you're into in the chat if there's anything new. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things and see what we got over here. 10 cents per kilowatt hour over here on ASIC miner value. Looks like the Dragon Ball miner A11 still at the top of the charts at $154 a day. This is the 3.2 terahash unit at 2300 watts mining Radiant RXD. Crazy. Has anybody snagged one of these? Let me know. I don't even know what the price of this thing is, to be honest. I have no idea. The A01 Pro 16.6 terahash unit over here. This is the lithium miner. It is down to $128 a day. Bruh. It's so crazy. I feel so bad for people that like jump on this thing like, oh, this thing's gonna make $1,000 a day. What? Let me go get that $40,000 loan so I can buy this thing to make $100 a day. Crazy. Crypto Frank, yeah. Got this thing called kids. I gotta get them to school, unfortunately. it's one of those things. Life's changing before my eyes. All right, the AL1 15.6 terahash unit over here making $120 a day, 120 and a half to be exact. Again, crazy. I knew it was gonna happen. When are we gonna get under $100 a day? You guys let me know what you think about that in the chat. Gold Shell E-AL1M. These are their new like Gold Shell server miners. Not sure if I'm gonna get one of them for a review. I think Panda just did one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was this one though. I think it was the Caspa miner. I forget, to be honest. I watched the video too. I totally forget. I think it was the Caspa miner. 4.4 terahash unit over here. This is the, again, a lithium miner, server miner, their brand new one. $32 a day. They want too much money for it. That's that. They want too much money for it. It's like over $6,000 to this thing to make $30 a day. Is no thanks. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me see. I think it's $67.99. Am I wrong? I have to go look. God damn it. Let me see. $65.99. All right. And look at that. They beat me by $200. Damn. All right. Let's see. $5.99 divided by how much is it? How much is it making a day? $32. Let's see. 32. We're just gonna say 206 days to get your money back if the price of lithium doesn't, or the difficulty doesn't adjust and the price doesn't adjust. You're looking at about 200 days. I don't know. It's not, to be honest, it's not a gamble I'm willing to take. Not for that kind of money. I would just rather buy the lithium if I believed in it. It's my opinion. You guys do what you want. You're all adults. Don't take financial advice from people on YouTube. That's your first mistake. All right, let's see. What do we got? The next thing. Look at this. Bitmain Antminer S21E XP Hydro 3U. This is, I assume, a server Bitcoin miner, or server style, right? 3U. 860 terahashes. 11,000 watts. Is that right? What in the hell? Mining Bitcoin, $30 a day. Holy shit. These are them new hydro units that are just apparently killing it. But how much is this thing? Where do you even buy that? Holy shit. Yeah, it is a 3U. that a price? Ooh, you know what? I like ASIC miner value. I like how it tells you the prices. $20,000 though. 23. I bet it's more than that. I bet these not. I don't know how accurate is this. I've never even heard of Vipera Tech. $20,000. Damn. No thanks. No thanks. Not yet available. First release in November 2024. Interesting. So it's not even out for a couple months. Crazy. Damn. ASIC miner values on top of their shit. Shout out to them. All right, let's see the Bitmain Antminer L9 over here. We got 16 gigahashes. This is the Dogecoin, Litecoin, and Bells miner. Actually, it can triple mine. $17.12 a day. I think if you add Bells into it, you probably make a couple more bucks a day. Pretty positive. Not 100%, but I'm pretty positive. All right, we got the Ice River RX0 over here. This is the brand new Ice River miner, 260 gigahashes. Looking like it's at 100 watts and making $12.44 a day. If you guys are looking for a wallet for your Radiant, check out Tangem. Link is in the pinned live chat if you guys are interested, and in the description below. Yeah, use code CCXD for 10% off. Gives you some, gives me some, works out both ways. We got the KS5M over here, 15 terahash unit. It's the Castle miner, $10.66 a day. Man, the KS5M, that's crazy how little they make now. Crazy. The AO Box 2 Plus, dude, DHL rang my doorbell at like 8:30 last night. Scared the shit out of me. Like, who the fuck is at my door at 8:30 at night? I was like, what the hell? And I walk out, the guy dropped off this thing. So stay tuned for that video. I can't release that though until the 17th. I don't know why, but that's what they said. So it's what it is. I have to record a video for this, and I'll be giving the hash rate to some VIPs in the Discord. So if you guys aren't in Discord, please get in there if you're a member of the channel. But this thing's 1 terahash is 480 watts. It says an integrated PSU, so I can't wait to open it and look at it. I haven't opened the box at all. $7.11 a day. How much do they even want for that thing, actually? Because I have absolutely no idea. Box. Jesus Christ.
Bruh. Stop the cap.
We're gonna move on. We got the Bitmain Antminer L7 over here, 9050. You guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them if you guys are interested in paying 10 cents per kilowatt hour instead of a disgusting rate like in my situation, 30 cents. It's well worth it. $6.03 a day on this unit. I have not tried to triple mine on it yet. I'm pretty sure I can over at F2 pool, but I am just lazy. That's the truth. I just hadn't messed with it. I said it and I forget it, to be honest. But this thing's been profitable throughout the bear market. The L7, I love it. I would love to buy an L9. I'm not spending 11 grand on anything. Not now. Not now. I would rather just buy the coin personally. Litecoin is so cheap, just buy the coin. We got the Gold Shell EKA1M. This is the other server unit that was I actually made a video about it, talking about it a little bit. I thought they were going to come out way higher than they actually did price wise, but these things, they're 5.5 terahashes. They seem cool, right? 1800 watts. Pretty sure it's the video that Panda made, and he received this unit. But $2.58 a day is just not worth it. It's crazy. It's crazy how just they were like 6 months too late on this drop. That's my opinion. It's very unfortunate. The Gold Shell AL box, the original 360 gigahashes over here, $2.54 a day. The Ice River KS3, man, this thing used to kill it. 8 terahashes over here on Caspa, $2.36 a day. That's terrible. The X16Q, what are we getting here? I haven't looked at this in a while. 1.95 gigahashes over here, making $1.58 on ETC. You know what? I should probably get these on today. I think I should get these on today. I have been neglecting my solar trailer and everything to do with mining the last couple days, or the last couple weeks. My wife's been sick and the kids getting to school. It's like everything has been a pain in the butt. Let's see. That's come down. I'm pretty sure it was 3K before. What? Oh, this right here. This was 3K? No. Are you saying the AL Box 2 Plus was 3K? That's not true. Is that true? That's insane. How much is that KA box, the server one? Let me see. Oh, it's right here. Wow, that's like blended in. $18.90. That's way too much, man. $18.99. Jesus Christ. That's crazy. Man, they come out with like cool units look wise and like home miner, like awesome. Like I would use it at home, right? They're quiet, but they charge too much money. That's the problem. That's freaking awful. Anyways, all right, moving on. GPUs. Let's see what we got. KRC 20 is gonna give us them fees. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see what happens. Mr. DJ Mines, I've been aping into Caspa, as everybody knows. All right, let's see. Nvidia CMP 170HX looks like Ironfish top of the charts. We get Xano up there as well for the 4090. Looks like Bitcoin Gold in the 4070 Ti. Nice. Anybody still GPU mining? Put a 1 in the chat if you're still GPU mining. I'm just interested because I don't know how many people are off and how many people are actually still mining. And what are you mining actually? That'd be nice to know. Throw it in the chat. Throw in like the coin that you mainly mine. I know Zealous was actually top of the charts for a while, but it's not here today. Not here today. It must have taken a shit. We have Cortex over here on the 4080, Xano on the 7900 XT, the BC 250 Ironfish. We got 4080 Super Block X. Look at that. I think you can mine Block X. Is that an Ethash coin? I forget. Is that a fork? I think it is. What's the ticker? I don't even know the ticker. What the hell is the ticker? What is the ticker? Oh, I put a K. BLOCX. There it is. That's where I screwed up. All right, let's see. 5 cents, almost 6 cents. It is an Ethash coin. I was correct. I think you can mine these with the freaking jazz miners. Am I wrong? I forget. Dag. Let's see. I forget where I actually used. What is this? This is not. What in the hell? I've never seen this site before ever. What's that site I usually use? No, that's right. What's that site I usually use? I don't remember. Damn it. What's the site for the DAG size calculator? I forget. Whatever. I don't care. It's not important. Anyways. All right. Looks like you guys only have a few coins to choose from today. Ironfish seems to be the top of the charts, actually. Let me see Ironfish. What's that looking like? Oh, it's miner stats. That's what it is. Damn it. You're right. Ton coin. $5.26, down 1% today, but it looks like it's has jumped up. Oh, thank you, Crypto KJ. Miner stat, that's what it was, dude. I haven't used that in so long. Damn. Yes, this is the one I was looking for. Thank you, Crypto KJ. Wait, where is Ethereum? Oh, actually, no, that'd be under Block X, wouldn't it? Was it not on here? Damn it. I can't type into it either. Why? I swear I thought it would be on here. Hold the phone. Apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's not important. We'll look it up later. I'm pretty sure you can use the jazz miners if the DAG size calculator says it's under 5 gigabytes or whatever. But again, not important. All right, let's move on. Lithium hash rate we're looking like today. 8.77 petahashes. 8.56 now. Refreshed it. Nice. Block X is only at 1.59 terahashes. Interesting. All right. Put it back to lithium because we'll check it tomorrow. Again, Caspa mainnet launch the 15th of September. All right, we're moving on to the new segment of things. Let's get into this. I want to hear a few things, and then we're going to jump into all the crypto stuff. Gas prices could fall below $3 a gallon. Let's see what they got to say over here on Yahoo Finance. This is about 10 hours ago. Let's do it.
With fall approaching, summer driving season is coming to an end, and temperatures dipping in much of the country. Gas prices dipping as well, but will they stay lower? Joining us now is Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy, Head of Petroleum Analysis. Patrick, always good to see you. Let's just start big picture, Patrick. Where are gas prices right now nationally, and where do you see them headed in kind of, let's call it near intermediate term, Patrick?
Real quick, that makes sense. Thank you, Crypto KJ. He said they really let themselves go, not keeping up to date much anymore. That was on the minor stat website. That's why I couldn't find BlockX. All right.
Well, Josh, for at least now, the national average is down for 6 straight weeks already. So
Wow.
nice ending to the summer. Now that we're getting into cooler weather, that downward streak is continuing. We expect that the national average will eventually fall below that $3 a gallon mark for the first time since 2021. Now, keep in mind, a lot of what we're seeing is seasonal. That is, gas prices would likely go down this time of year, regardless of if oil was stable or even rising. Americans just don't drive as much in fall. As some loss of allure of putting the boat in the lake when the air temperatures start dropping to the 50s and 60s. So less demand. We're also...
Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I love getting up in the morning when it's like crisp out. It's like kind of cool. You wear a sweatshirt and it's nice, and then it gets like beautiful out. It's perfect. I love this weather.
Switching back to cheaper winter gasoline, that's something that can happen Monday of next week. And then the double dose of oil prices that have fallen to $65 a barrel, certainly going to help accelerate this train, this locomotive that's moving. We expect the national average, as I mentioned, is likely going to fall below $3 a gallon here in the next couple of weeks.
I need my BTC. Said, why so early? WTF. Kids, I got to get them on the school. Or not the bus, actually. I drive my daughter to school because F the school bus stuff. Dude, all right, hold on real quick. I know it's like kind of off topic, but my taxes in this town where I live, I'm not going to say where I live, but it's very, very high, okay? It's extremely high. I have to pay like $500 a year for the school bus. Does anybody else have to pay for a school bus? I'm like, F that. I'll just drive the kid to school. It's right down the street. I'll spend less in gas driving my kid to school. It's insane. I couldn't even believe it. I was like totally taken back by it. Crypto Frank said we never have that kind of weather down there. Yeah, you live in like the most humid place on the planet. All right, let's do it.
Would be some upside risk though to consider there, Patrick.
Oh, certainly one sitting in the Gulf of Mexico right now. Certainly Tropical Storm Florence, actually Francine. There's a lot of different names to get in hurricane season, but Francine is something that we continue to monitor. A couple of refineries scaling back in preparation. Hurricane season still likely to be very busy. There's a couple other areas of interest. So while Francine, being a relatively low storm, may not impact prices, that hurricane season is something to keep an eye on, at least for the next few weeks. And of course, there's always the possibility that the Middle East could see violence at a moment's notice. In addition, one wild card, we saw it overnight. Ukraine continues to go after Russia with drones. When those drones attack refineries, that can lead to a little bit of upside to oil and refined products.
Oh boy.
You know, Patrick, we always talk about gas prices nationally. Let's break it down though a little bit more. Where are gas prices highest right now?
Well, Josh, you can see it a little bit in the map behind me. California, glowing yellow. That is the nation's highest gasoline price. Prices there are still well over the $4 a gallon mark, although if you use an app like GasBuddy, you can find it under $4. The entire West Coast still, especially Northern California. In fact, we're talking about the national average having gone down 6 straight weeks. But if you're in Northern California, the Bay Area, even areas of Southern Oregon, there have been some refinery glitches that have pushed prices up there. Washington State, Oregon, of course, Hawaii, and Alaska also still amongst the pricier states.
All right, so highest in my native California, Patrick. I'm just curious, where are they lowest?
Well, again, the graphic behind me, you could just about head anywhere in the Gulf Coast and see some of those low prices. In fact, 12 states below $3 a gallon. I picked out a station the other day, rather incredibly, in Mississippi, $2.38 a gallon for a cash price, and that was a couple of days ago. So you're seeing a
$2.38 a gallon. Damn, that's cheap.
flood of those sub $3 a gallon prices predominantly throughout much of the South.
How important,
It's like $3.50 where I'm at.
Patrick, are prices at the pump in terms of just shaping and impacting how consumers feel, consumer sentiment?
I mean, it's huge. Whether you need gasoline or not, when you go by the gas station, it's kind of economic sentiment for how you feel, the barometer for how you feel about the broader economy. And these lower prices, these sub $3 prices, are sure to boost consumer sentiment here going into the fall. Biggest question is, will the Fed deliver on a rate cut that'll help Americans start feeling a little bit better about the cost of borrowing as well?
Mr. Crypto KJ said, you guys got it cheap over there. We pay by the liter over here. Dude, that's terrible. Imagine paying by the liter. Oh, that's miserable. I feel bad for you guys. But listen, we got to pay for the school bus over here, right? I pay almost $15,000 a year in taxes. All right. I'm not even kidding. That's stupid high. If you guys don't know, my old house was like 4K. All right. It's insane. Anyways, that and I have to pay for a school bus. All right. I want to hear about your liters. Crypto KJ. All right, listen, we got Nvidia, Apple, and Oracle. Let's see how to navigate the tech sluggishness. See what they got to say again over here in Yahoo Finance. Everything else, everywhere else, was just about the debate, and I don't really want to get into the politics stuff today. So, yeah, let's do it.
Tech stocks seeing sharp declines to start September. The Nasdaq Composite shedding about 5% so far this month, and some of the worst performers are Nvidia and Apple. We're looking at how to navigate the big picture with the Yahoo Finance Playbook. Dan Flax, Neuberger Berman Senior Research Analyst, is joining us now. Dan, it's good to see you. Those two names, among others, are still among your top picks. And, you know, obviously we've had some volatility come into the tech trade. There are different stories with the two of them. Let's start with Apple, since we just had the event yesterday. We had the EU tax ruling this morning. Why are you sticking with that one?
Yeah, Andrew Masada, I'm not even kidding. Oh, sorry, no, not James. Said, bruh, 15K. Yeah, no joke. I'm not even kidding. It's about 15K a year in taxes I pay. Insane. Real quick, crypto KJ, $6 to $7 a gallon is what you pay over there. Dude, that's insane. That is insane. That's way too much money for gas. Oh, almost $8 a gallon. Jesus.
Good to see you. I think what's going on with Apple is that they're demonstrating that they can continue to innovate. We see with iPhone 16, the camera control, Apple Intelligence, the journey around that is beginning. That'll play out over many months. But the user experience is continuing to change. I think the developer community remains healthy. And what we'll see over the coming months is that growth should be a little bit better. You're seeing the installed base continue to increase. China, while a concern, Apple has continued to navigate that pretty well. And so services remains durable, and the wearables opportunity, in my view, remains early. And so I expect better growth over the next year, which will contribute to stock price outperformance, in my view, from current levels.
He does look like he's made out of AI, huh? That's crazy.
Also, get your take on NVIDIA, Dan. You know, one concern there, I want to get your take on this, is this idea that big tech is going to start coming under some pressure from their investors to just kind of slow down this rush of AI spending. What do you make of that concern, Dan? What could it mean for NVIDIA?
Brian, excuse me, Josh, we're sitting at a very interesting juncture here, because you have the cloud vendors, Amazon and Microsoft, Google, investing aggressively because they see revenue growth opportunities in their core businesses and new opportunities around generative AI. And so they're spending aggressively. There is some concern around the capacity, but in my view, they're going to be able to absorb that as we think through the coming quarters and over the next year or two. As far as NVIDIA is concerned, there's a little bit of a delay in Blackwell, their new platform, but demand for Hopper remains healthy. And I think the key for NVIDIA is to continue to execute on its product cycles. What's happening with artificial intelligence, there's really a whole host of new use cases. If you think about the healthcare world, drug discovery, studies around climate change. In manufacturing, you have digital twins. And so there are a lot of new opportunities for both the cloud companies as well as traditional enterprises to transform themselves over the next couple of years. And NVIDIA really sits at the heart of that opportunity. So we continue to like that name, appreciating, of course, that there is some near-term volatility.
Dan, how quickly and at what magnitude are these companies going to have to start to really show more profit directly tied to some of this AI technology?
I think for the traditional cloud vendors, they're seeing revenue like Microsoft Azure in the billions of dollars today. I think that will continue. Now, clearly, they're investing to drive that growth. But if the market sees and the companies are demonstrating that there are large revenue pools to be captured in both the near and perhaps, as importantly, the medium and long term, I think the market will be okay with that. The key for these companies is to drive growth in these newer areas while at the same time demonstrating that in the core, the existing businesses, things are healthy. So if you think about the cloud businesses, you're continuing to see a shift towards the cloud. And when we speak to enterprise customers, many of them are relatively early in their journey. Part of what they're getting is that they're getting access, like with generative AI, to the newest tools and technologies. And so that's why they're going to the cloud, in addition to the ability to turn on the capacity, like flipping a light switch. It's very quick. And that's a contrast with a lot of the traditional IT infrastructure. And so it's a journey, and our focus is on the companies like an NVIDIA that can innovate and really empower their customers as we think about the customer's ability to capitalize on all this as we move into next year and beyond.
Dan, also want to get your take on Oracle. Larry Ellison's company reports investors clearly like what they see. Dan, the stock up about 12% right now. What did you make of that print, Dan? And also just your take on the broader business software landscape.
The results were solid. Oracle's demonstrating that they're really able to invest and drive growth in the Oracle Cloud. And when we speak to their customers, they like what Oracle is doing as they extend their ability to deliver value for their workloads in the different clouds. We saw the Amazon Web Services announcement last night. So Oracle customers are liking the fact that you can continue to run workloads on-premise, but also move into the cloud. I think the growth for Oracle Cloud is likely to remain robust over the next few years. It's certainly lumpy quarter to quarter, but the company is investing. Customers are seeing results from migrating to the cloud, and I think it sets the company up well as I look out into next year. So we continue to like that name as well.
All right, you and a lot of investors, Dan. Thank you so much.
Crazy. All right, shout out to Yahoo Finance for that. We're going to move on to Crypto World, CNBC television, but after we talk about 56's kid's t-shirt. His kid got detention the first week of school because he wore a shirt to school that said, "I'm not gay, but $20 is $20." Oh, so awful. So awful. He's like, listen, I didn't even buy it for him. He was told not to wear it to school. I was like, dude, that is awful. All right, crypto will be the big boon for financial services over time. Let's see what Robinhood CEO says over here on Crypto World, CNBC television. Let's do it.
Today, a new report from Gemini reveals U.S. crypto investors will likely take a presidential candidate's crypto stance into account when voting in November. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev tells CNBC crypto signals a shift in how financial services are offered and delivered. And Swan Bitcoin Stephen Lubka weighs in on the September effect on crypto and how each potential election outcome could influence prices.
I'm going to bump this up. We're going to get through a few other things.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices are in the green, with Bitcoin trading above $56,500 as of around noon Eastern after rebounding last night from its worst week in more than a year. Ether climbed about 1.5%, and Solana rose nearly 4.5% to $134. September is a historically weak month for Bitcoin and risk assets at large. Last week, Bitcoin fell 9% for its worst weekly performance since August 2023. Investors have been frustrated as Bitcoin has been lacking major catalysts for several weeks. Analysts say that in their absence, the Bitcoin price is likely to be extra sensitive to macro factors and to continue consolidating. The upcoming presidential election in the U.S. is widely considered the next meaningful catalyst for Bitcoin, which has been stuck between $55,000 and $70,000 for most of the year after reaching its all-time high above $73,000 back in March. As we told you yesterday, Bernstein is forecasting that the outcome of the presidential election will lead to a significant impact on the price of Bitcoin, which we'll come back to in a moment. Okay, let's take a look at the top stories. A new report from Gemini reveals that the crypto markets are poised for a rebound, although regulatory concerns remain a hurdle for those who do not yet invest in digital assets. According to those surveyed in the Crypto Exchange's 2024 Global State of Crypto report, the vast majority, 65%, said they hold crypto for its long-term investment potential. The report also revealed that in the United States, 37% of crypto owners surveyed hold some crypto through an ETF, and 13% own crypto exclusively through an ETF. Spot crypto ETFs, of course, were introduced in the U.S. this year. Also, among those who own crypto in the U.S., 73% said they plan to consider a presidential candidate's stance on crypto when they head to the polls in November.
Of course they do.
The report noted that despite significant headwinds, adoption of digital assets has remained steady in the U.S., UK, France, and Singapore in recent years. Next, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says crypto will prove to be a big boon to innovation and financial services over time, and that the U.S. will get there in terms of acceptance. While speaking to CNBC at Goldman Sachs' Communicopia Tech Conference this morning, Tenev was asked where crypto fits into the platform's business strategy, especially after announcing in June its acquisition of global crypto exchange Bitstamp. Tenev said that crypto is about more than making trades and placing bets. He thinks it could be a major upgrade to finance.
I think there's a more interesting view of crypto, which is that it's an infrastructure upgrade and a shift in how financial services are offered and delivered. And if you look at blockchains and the efficiency with which you can offer collateralized lending, trading, market making, clearing and settlement, it really has the potential to solve a lot of the legacy issues with the financial infrastructure that we have in this country. And I think over time that will become more clear as you're seeing growth in products globally. And I do think the US will continue to embrace the technology.
Now, as Robinhood has expanded into the crypto space, it has also faced pushback from U.S. regulators. The company said in May that its crypto division received a Wells notice from the SEC. At the time, it said the company attempted to work in good faith with the agency and that its products were not securities. Finally, a new FBI report reveals crypto fraud losses jumped 45% in 2023. The FBI's cryptocurrency fraud report for 2023, which was published yesterday, shows that the agency's Internet Crime Complaint Center received nearly 70,000 complaints related to crypto fraud. That resulted in more than $5.5 billion in reported losses. Of the nearly 70,000 complaints received, almost 58,000 of the victims were from the U.S.
Listen, if there's so many people get scammed with all this crypto stuff, right? So these scammers, they'll make fake like exchanges and stuff to make it seem like you're actually trading and you're actually making money and all this shit. But like when it comes time to withdraw it, you can't withdraw it, and then they tell you like, hey, listen, you need to pay this much taxes to get the money out. Like, it's not true. Like, it's a scam. It's all a scam. Like, the tax man doesn't come for you until the end of the year. Okay, just know that. And if you guys are stupid enough to use an exchange that's something not based in the US, that's not known well, then it's on you. But you guys got to do homework, man. You can't just like put money into these sites. It's crazy.
Schemes led those losses at just under $4 billion, a 53% surge from the $2.5 billion reported in 2022. At number 2, personal data breach cases, which led to nearly $500 million in losses. Tech support fraud rounded out the top 3 at $420 million. According to the report, criminals turn to crypto because of its speed, decentralized nature, and the jurisdictional challenges that come with asset recovery. The FBI encourages those targeted by crypto fraud schemes to report a complaint on ic3.gov, even if a financial loss didn't occur. All right, back to markets for our main story.
Like I said, I know somebody personally that lost like literally $250,000 in one of those pig butchering scams, and it's awful. You had to fill out some sort of form with the FBI to look into where the money went and all this other shit. Like, it's horrible.
I spoke with Stephen Lupka, head of private clients at Swan Bitcoin, about the seasonal volatility weighing on Bitcoin. We also discussed how Bitcoin could fare once the U.S. decides its next president in November. Thank you so much for joining me. It's great to see you. We are dealing with the September effect, as expected, in Bitcoin and risk assets more broadly. There has been a bunch of volatility, but in terms of the price action, Bitcoin is, for the most part, unchanged, still kind of in that tight range that it's been in for most of this year. Can you tell us what's going on here? Like I said, it's a lot of movement, but it's a lot of stuff that's kind of the same. What do investors need to know?
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. So not much has happened. People have gotten a little chopped up. It's up 10%, it's down 10%. But if you look at the last 6 months, very little has changed. There's been a lot of noise along the way that people have gotten caught up in. So a question I see a lot along these lines is like, why didn't Bitcoin go higher? We had this great run up into the ETFs, post the ETFs, and then it got kind of range bound. And so why is that? A big factor there is we had huge pockets of supply that got unlocked and were sold into the market. You have the US Marshals selling in excess of $1 billion from the Silk Road coins. You have Germany selling $3 billion. And you have the very long awaited Mt. Gox distributions where people who have been waiting for these coins 8 years plus got their coins finally. If you're waiting to receive some Bitcoin from a bankruptcy for over 8 years, some of those people are going to sell some of those coins. I think it was relatively muted compared to what it could have been. This was a very billions of dollars here, but definitely some sell pressure there. And so during that time period where we went sideways, there was a lot of selling from kind of surprise, kind of somewhat unexpected pockets, but we are on the other side of that now. The US Marshals have very little left that is currently available for sale. We're pretty much through the Mt. Gox distributions. And on the horizon, the FTX bankruptcy is going to return funds to clients in Q4. This is coming back as cash, $16 billion. We will assume that some percentage of those people who were trading on FTX are just going to immediately rebuy Bitcoin and other assets. So whether that's 30, 40, 50% of that money, definitely some buy pressure coming in the next 3 months.
Let's dig a little bit more into that macro. So what would you say is driving things? Because next to the macro, we also have the election. So we are looking forward to the announcement of rate cuts. Probability of 50 basis points of a cut is down for September, but more than 125 by December is up. So how do you, since we're also contending with the US presidential election, is there a dominant theme here?
Yeah, they're both important, right? And so both in the past, right, we had a run up, and I'm saying this very non-politically, just as much as this impacts markets. Markets in the Bitcoin space, in the crypto world, were very positive on Donald Trump looking like he was going to win. They ran up. Then when there was the candidate switch out, you had Biden swap for Harris. That kind of unwound, that kind of bump unwound. And, you know, the election's closer to a coin flip right now. So I think people just really feel there's not a discernible edge. This is reflected in the polling data. So I think markets would react very positively, especially Bitcoin and crypto markets, to a Trump presidency for several reasons, mostly just vocal support of the industry rather than opposition.
True.
That being said, I think people really overplay the risks of a Harris presidency. I think there's fear because the Biden administration was pretty hostile. We encountered that. I mean, you know, my company had bank account pressure during the kind of Operation Choke Point days. So we faced that directly. And so I know the challenges that the Biden administration's policy, you know, meant for companies in the industry. That being said, I think all of the signposts that we're seeing with Harris continually represent a de-escalation. I understand the industry wants something more solid, something more concrete than what we've seen, but the trend is clearly softening, not strengthening. And as far as so you have rate cuts, you have recession probabilities, and you have the election. And these are the three big macro topics. I think the market is pretty convinced that rates are going to be coming down. The only question is at what pace. That will be positive. That's a positive kind of liquidity factor. The real fear right now, the thing that is uncertain, is will the US see a recession? And so when we see these payrolls data, when we see jobs data, this is the really important factor now, not the rate cuts. Is the Fed going to be cutting rates into an active recession, or will they be cutting rates into a kind of like Goldilocks scenario growth zone where the economy, it's not, you know, super hot and growing really rapidly, but it's not a recession. That kind of cutting rates into a moderating economy, that's the best case scenario. The more we see of that, the better assets do. If the market starts to feel that the Fed is emergency cutting rates into a recession, that will be bearish for all asset prices. And so that's what people are looking for. I think that last factor, that has the most weight here.
And then going back to the election for just a sec, and this is not even a question about the election, but Bernstein had a note out yesterday kind of highlighting what a stark difference it would be if one candidate were to win versus the other. They were saying if Trump wins, Bitcoin could go to 80K by the end of the year.
Easily.
And if Harris wins, it could fall to 40K by the end of the year. And this is not so much about the election, but it seems like I
don't think Bitcoin's going to fall to 40K because she gets elected. I do think that it will pump crazy if Trump gets elected, though. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
More bullish calls for Bitcoin are kind of getting lower and staying below 100K. Yeah. What do you make of that? Do you see it going higher? Do you think that's fair? And then what do you make of, I don't know, this mellowing out, I guess, of these calls on Bitcoin price?
Well, part of it is we're only talking about 3 months here. The end of the year isn't too far away. So these are more shorter term calls. I think a range between 40 and 90 in the next 3 months. I mean, I think that's more than fair from the bear to the bull case. I think that is the range we'll probably settle in. Do I think we'll be in the six figures by 2025? Almost certainly. Do I think we'll be in the six figures regardless of who wins? Almost certainly. Now, within that kind of shorter time frame, if Trump wins in November, will there be an immediate pump? Yes, absolutely. If Harris wins, could there be some immediate sell pressure? That certainly wouldn't surprise me. But over the medium term, I don't think that's the dynamic. I don't think a Harris presidency is Bitcoin just going down for a year or anything like that.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today.
The hell, that was I thought he was going to continue talking. That was weird. Anyway, shout out to CNBC television for that. All right, moving on to the videos. I want to get into the Pomps podcast. I think this is with his wife, if I'm not mistaken, but Bitcoin presidential debate, blah, blah, blah. We're only going to really listen to this point, right where the OF talk shows up. We're going to stop that. So I'm going to bump this up to 1.2. We're going to play the beginning of this. If you guys want to watch it, I do have a link in the description. Go check out Anthony Pompliano's channel. It is fantastic. Let's do it.
What's up, guys? Bang, bang. Today's episode is packed with insights. We've got Polina Pompliano joining us, and we go over what's going on with Bitcoin. Why is the price crashing? Should you be worried? And actually, is the price even crashing? Or actually, are we up real big to start the year? We then get into what the future catalyst could be and what I expect to happen with price going into the bull market. On top of that, we break down the OnlyFans business, a bunch of the financials recently linked, and you will be shocked to hear what exactly the owner took home last year in terms of their paycheck. Then we get into SpaceX.
Would you really be shocked about that? All right, I'm just going to jump into it. Jump forward.
Polina. All right, Polina, what first topic you got?
We got Bitcoin is rebounding from its worst week in more than a year. I don't know if you've heard, but Bitcoin jumped Monday evening and topped $57,000 after Wall Street's rebound from its worst week of the year. You know, seasonality is a factor. Analysts have warned that crypto lacks major catalysts at the moment, so maybe that's a reason. And it's more likely to be like sensitive to macro factors. Yeah, and also September, like we talked in last video, is a notoriously bad month for markets.
This entire thing is crazy. Stop it. Stop it. Everyone stop the madness. Bitcoin, which was trading at like $40,000 to start the year, is up, depending on the day, anywhere between 30 to 50%. And people are acting like Bitcoin has drawn down 80% or something. Yes, it is down off the all-time high, but still it is up significantly for the year.
Yeah, wait, just really quick. The fact that we're talking about like Bitcoin in the 50s range as being like worst performing.
I used to dream of the day that people would write headlines, Bitcoin crashing to 55,000. When it was at 3,000, 7,000, 10, 15, 20, like, come on, this is craziness. Thank you. My past self is happy that they are writing these articles now because it means Bitcoin's working. But I do think it is a very fair critique and question as to what are the future catalysts. And so one of them that is coming is on September 18th, the Federal Reserve is expected to come out with an interest rate cut. And so my guess is it's probably a 25 basis point interest rate cut, not 50. They kind of don't feel like they need to make a big jump, just kind of ease your way into the monetary policy regime change. And they did kind of tip their hand, tell the market it's likely to come. So people have been positioning themselves, but I do think people are underestimating how impactful it is that the actual action occurs, the certainty of they did make the cut. And so I think that's kind of one catalyst is them coming out and saying, hey, we've cut interest rates. Another catalyst would be some large party coming out and saying they've bought Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheet, whether that is a sovereign wealth fund, whether that's an actual nation state, maybe it is another big public company, right? There's a couple of things. The hard part there is there's no like timeline in terms of when that could happen. But if that was to occur, if name your favorite big country came out and said, we've bought Bitcoin or putting in our central bank reserves,
I have a question.
That could be a huge benefit as well.
Why would they say that? If they did it, what is their incentive to say we put Bitcoin on the balance sheet?
Once they are done actually buying, then you want to tell everyone. It doesn't make sense. Like one of the things when President Trump said that he was going to create a national stockpile of Bitcoin, when Robert Jr. came out and he said that he thought we should go and buy all this Bitcoin, et cetera, telling the market before you do it works against you. Right. So it's this weird dynamic of if you're campaigning, you have to tell people, here's what I intend to do, because you're trying to use that to get them to vote for you. But actually, a economic actor does not want to tell the market. It'd be like, imagine a Wall Street hedge fund going out and putting in the Wall Street Journal, tomorrow I'm going to buy this stock.
It's going to spike and then you're buying it at a high.
Of course. So I do think there's this, kind of healthy tension between politicians campaigning and trying to tell their citizens, vote for me because I'm going to do X, versus the economic argument as to you should wait and do X and then tell everyone. So that's why a sovereign wealth fund, once they have their position on, then they would go tell someone. Right. So you see this all the time in finance, is people put their position on and then they start talking about it, right? So there's this saying, get long and get loud. Get long, buy the asset, and then get loud. Then go tell everyone about it and bring eyeballs to it. And then,
or they just tell like people like Nancy Pelosi first, and then it gets out, and then it explodes.
The idea is that other people start to see your kind of investment case, et cetera. They begin to go and try to buy that asset. That obviously helps you because you're already a holder. So I think that is a potential catalyst. Another catalyst is Donald Trump being elected as president. Right now, it is unclear what Vice President Harris's position on crypto is moving forward. The current administration has been very abrasive to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Obviously, as the vice president, you're the second most powerful person in the world. You're participating in that, whether implicitly or explicitly. But there are rumblings and rumors that her administration claims they will be more sympathetic. They will be more accepting. There are people like Anthony Scaramucci and Mark Cuban that are working to try to get the Democrats to be more interested. I believe people like Ro Khanna and Hakeem Jeffries, they're trying to kind of push the Democrat Party to say, look, make this a bipartisan issue. Don't let this become a Republican thing. This needs to be an America thing. So I think that effort is good. I actually think people on both sides of the aisle should embrace this. We should not make technology partisan. With all that said, Donald Trump and the Republican Party have done such a good job of positioning themselves as pro-Bitcoin candidates that if they are elected, then I think that will be a major boom. People will say, hey, Bitcoin's going to do well under a Trump presidency. Whether the facts are true or not, it's impossible to tell the future. But just the fact that he's positioned himself that way, he gets elected, people then see, hey, Trump is likely to do things that help Bitcoin, not hurt it. So that'll be a tailwind. And then also end of year in these bull markets, we start to get to 6, 7, 8 months after the halving. We tend to see price tick up from there. And you could think of this as there was this supply shock. Right? We cut in half how many Bitcoin were coming into the market on a daily basis. And so when that occurs, it takes a little while for the market to kind of reprice itself. But I do expect there to be a repricing. The word of caution to Bitcoin investors is the repricing may not be what you think it is. It may not go from 50 or 60,000 to 300,000. What's more likely to happen is we go up 50%, 100%. So could you see somewhere between 100 to 150K price in the bull market? That seems reasonable. Maybe that is even like the base case in a bull market for an asset like Bitcoin, given its size today and its holder base. What I do not think is reasonable is to expect a $250,000 or $300,000 Bitcoin price. And I also don't expect for Bitcoin to kind of continue to go sideways forever. So there's some bracket there, and I would put it between 100 and 150K as kind of the target zone in this bull market. And so really,
you guys hear that? So 100, 150K, that's pretty much everybody's realistic consensus, I guess, on where Bitcoin will be.
A catalyst is time has elapsed since the halving, and November into December and kind of Q1 of next year, I would expect price to kind of follow some of these past market cycles. And so if you're a holder, one of the challenges is actually like, don't get lulled to sleep. Don't get bored to death. Instead, understand that you're actively making a decision every day to hold this asset. And so if any of these catalysts or multiple of these catalysts play out, the price goes higher.
I have a question.
So many people are getting bored right now. And that is so true. It is so freaking true. You guys just need to hold on.
Why is it that usually, at least, from an observer standpoint, Bitcoin the price tends to rise around the holidays?
Well, I think a lot of the market cycles have been in bull markets that tends to fall that 6 to 8 month period post halving. And so if you take 2018 as an example, in 2017, there was this like blow off top, and especially into the end of the year. And then what we saw was actually 2018 in Q4, there was Bitcoin fell by 50%. It went from 6,500 down to 3,200. And so the opposite occurred in the bear market. And if you then look in 2021, we kind of had the blow off top, right? November of 2021 was the top of the Bitcoin price.
That must be what I remember, yeah.
And then if you fast forward to 2022, FTX is collapsing, all the pain and chaos is kind of in the second half and really Q4 of 2022. So if you kind of follow this cycle, there is a belief that you will get these price, kind of movements. Now, what's interesting is this Q4 is not actually aligned with the top of a bull market Q4. Instead, this is kind of the first Q4. So if you go back to 2020, there was a halving. If I remember correctly, it happened in May. That halving, we pretty much went sideways. I think that the price of Bitcoin was almost identical in August as it was in May. Like maybe there was a slight uptick, but like, maybe it was 8,000 and it was now like $9,000 or something, but it wasn't a big price movement through the summer. So sideways summer post halving.
Sideways summer. And
then we get to October. In October, we start to grind up. November, we start to grind up faster. In December, if I remember correctly, we break through the all-time high and we were adding $1,000 a day to the Bitcoin price. And it overlapped. I think on December 25th, we hit 25,000. On December 26th, we hit 26,000. Oh, wow. And so it was going up rapidly. Bitcoin went from, call it $10,000, $12,000 kind of at the start of Q4 to $64,000 by the end of Q1. So in a 6 month period, there was this massive, kind of acceleration of the price.
Insane.
We drew down 50% back down into the low 30s, and then we went back up again at the end of the year. And so again, 2017, very similar. We went from $1,000 to $20,000 in 2017. It's a 20x return in a single year. Crazy. But there's kind of this blow off top at the end of the year. The halving didn't occur.
Real quick, Zed said, I am not bored of this market. I'm sick of eating noodles. I buy everything I can. That's great.
In 2017, it happened in 2016. And so you've got to kind of look out 18 months. Now, that may get shortened because people on Wall Street start to say to themselves, you know what? If everyone expects 18 months after the halving, that's the top, I'm just going to sell in month 17 or month 16. Right. I'm not going to wait for the blow off top. I'm going to sell early so I can capture the gains rather than potentially miss it and then end up on the wrong side of kind of the drawdown. And so I do think that those having
smart, but you can't always time crypto. You can't ever time crypto, to be honest.
Cycles will shorten a little bit. It won't go from 18 months to 9 months, but it'll shorten.
This time's so different.
You have to remember now that the asset is bigger. It's over $1 trillion, and you have more holders, both in terms of financial institutions, but also individuals. And so the volatility is going to kind of come down. It's going to get muted over time. The reason why that is important is because there is some threshold where the people who were buying Bitcoin early on that were looking for the asymmetric aspect, that is no longer available. I don't think we're there yet. But Michael Saylor recently was on CNBC and he said Bitcoin has gone up 44% a year compounded in terms of when he started buying it around $8,000, $10,000 to today. 44% is significant outperformance from the stock market. As that number comes down, if you get to 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, there are some people who are going to say, that's not that interesting. I need the next asymmetric asset that can go up 40, 50, 60,
That's
70%.
Crazy.
Very rare to find them, and that's why Bitcoin has been able to attract $1 trillion. But I do think that that's also why people have been pushing out on the risk curve of crypto over the last couple of years, is because crypto used to go up hundreds of percent, then it was 100%, then it was 75%, now it's 44% over the last, call it 4 or 5 years. And so people just say, well, I want exposure to crypto, but like, why don't I just go to the thing that might go up 200% or go to zero? I'll take more and more risk. And so they push out, into the smaller cap coins.
It's like the venture mindset applied to this kind of investing.
If you think about
SoftBank,
if you think about it from the investor seat, there's 2 reasons why people would do that. One is the kind of venture capital belief.
That's only 10.
If I build a portfolio of asymmetric assets, 60, 70, 80% of them can go to zero, but it's all a power law. And so I just need to have one that goes up more than 10x and I make money.
Yeah.
That is probably more sophisticated investors are kind of looking at it. They're running models. They're looking at portfolio construction. They're thinking about rebalancing. They're, kind of doing all of that work. I don't think that is most people who are pushing out on the risk curve. I think most people are saying to themselves, I live in the United States or somewhere else in the world. My local currency is being devalued. I might not even be able to articulate that, but all I know is I keep falling further and further behind. If I go and I buy the S&P, which goes up 8 to 10% a year, it will take me forever. And probably in my lifetime, I will not achieve financial freedom. I read somewhere on the internet that somebody bought a coin, it went up a lot and they got rich. And so this has better odds than me buying a lottery ticket.
That's a little dangerous.
Of course it's dangerous. But it's this feeling that I can't get ahead. I'm losing hope, right? The world is getting more expensive around me. And so I have to take more risk to drive a higher return in order to catch up. And many of these people aren't even trying to grow faster. They just want to feel like their life is not getting worse, right? Can they stop the bleeding?
Yeah.
And so if you look at Bitcoin, one of my kind of eye-opening statistics that I read this year was in 2016, the median home in America was worth 664 Bitcoin. Today, in 2024, the median home in America is worth about 6 Bitcoin.
That's crazy to think about.
Now, the reason why that's interesting is because home affordability in America has exploded in dollar terms. People are saying to themselves, this is the worst home affordability in decades. The price of a home has literally exploded and gone up about 50% in 8 years. That's really hard for a lot of Americans to say, how do I afford a home?
And Michael Saylor was the guy that said, think about Bitcoin as property, not as like a coin, right?
At the same time, if you price that asset in Bitcoin, the home has become 99% cheaper.
Yeah.
So
it's
all about which asset are you denominating your wealth in. And so if you can say to yourself, wait a second, if I just hold a currency that is going to appreciate my purchasing power, rather than everything getting more expensive around me, everything is going to get cheaper around me. As people learn how that works, there's a lot of people who say, that's interesting. I need to do more work there. I need to go and
That's very interesting. That's really interesting. It's just thinking about so I have a rental property, right? I had a couple. If I just bought Bitcoin back then, instead of buying the rental, what in the hell? How much more money we'd have? That's crazy to think about. It's so true.
Do some research. I need to figure out, should I buy this or should I not? What are the risks? And so that one statistic ultimately boils down to education. If people understood the purchasing power of Bitcoin has been going up while the dollar has been going down, if 8 years ago you had simply said, I'm going to take a portion, whether it was 1, 3, 5%, whatever the number is, and put it into Bitcoin, you then would have a completely different outcome in terms of what is the price of a house? What is the price of groceries? What is the price of insurance? All of those things are subject to the devaluation of the currency. And so now people are saying to themselves, well, if Bitcoin's not going to go up hundreds of percent, if I missed out on the last 8 years, let me go find the next thing that I believe will have massive appreciation.
Yeah. And to wrap this
Yeah, well, let her finish talking.
This topic up, what do we think about MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor predicting that Bitcoin? Anyway, I just want to ask, why are people still making price predictions? I feel like that's such a tricky game. But he predicted that Bitcoin could hit 13 million by 2045.
I don't know what the price of Bitcoin's going to do. I have.
It's just such a specific.
Well, I have opinions. His specific model is, I think he looked out 21 years and he basically calculated if
40%.
Bitcoin grows at certain, compounding
I'm sure he
growth
has
rates,
models.
here's where it would end up. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. It's really hard to kind of predict this stuff. I do think that structurally, the idea of people are very short-term oriented. So they're thinking about what is the price of Bitcoin going to be next week, next month, even next year. But instead, if you look out over a long period of time and you look at how compounding works, it can produce very big numbers that surprise people.
That would be asymmetric growth.
It would be, but I think that model is somewhere between like 25 to 35% growth, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but it's something that is less growth than today.
It was like 30 or 40%.
But also we see a stock market where you get 10% growth. So if it's double the stock market, let's use that as an example. It will produce a very good return. The one difference between maybe the stock market and Bitcoin or other assets is that growth is all capital appreciation. There are no dividends. There's no reinvesting. There's no anything. And so if you look at kind of the 8 to 10% growth, usually that is calculated in the stock market without dividends. And so that is just pure capital appreciation. The fact that you do get paid dividends and you can reinvest those obviously can help juice the return. And then if you don't look at the S&P, instead you look at something like maybe the NASDAQ 100, if I remember correctly, the NASDAQ 100 last year was up 50%. That's a massive number. And so if that asset goes up 15, 20, 25%, maybe NASDAQ and Bitcoin end up actually in steady state having similar growth rates on a compound annual growth rate basis. I don't know. And so my takeaway from the model that Saylor used is not so much like, oh, Bitcoin's going to $13 million in 21 years. Instead, it was a reminder compounding over a long period of time at higher than normal growth rates for a financial asset can produce these massive outcomes. And so if people can shift to being more long-term oriented and also look at and expect the compound annual growth rate of Bitcoin to come down, it still provides what many people online are talking about, very attractive, kind of end results. It's just in order to capture that, you kind of have to, allocate your assets. And then you got to be really good at doing nothing for a long period of time. And humans just naturally are horrible at doing that.
Yeah, because we're impatient AF. All right. Anyways, I got to get into the recap segment of things, unfortunately, because I got to get kids to school and it's past 8 o'clock. All right. I was going to watch this over here. Donald Trump, $1 million price prediction. But if you guys want to watch this altcoin daily, I got the video in the description below, as well as Anthony Pompliano's. If you want to finish that debate that he's talking about, or the little podcast he has with the OnlyFans stuff, the presidential debate, all that crap. So feel free to go check him out. Link is down there. All right. Anybody that's just joining, Bitcoin, $56,833. Got Ethereum at $23.28. We got Solana, $131. XRP is at 53 cents if anybody cares. ADA is at 33 cents. We got Dogecoin just over 10 cents. Caspa is at 16 and a half, just about 16.47 to be exact. Near Protocol, probably a good buy, $3.93. We got ETC at 18.22. ICP is killing it today, $8.60, up 7.15%. Let's do a flashbang. Fear and Greed Index at a 37. Everything is looking strong. Nothing really changed over here on Crypto Bubbles. Seems to be ICP still the biggest earner of the day. Interesting. That's it, guys. That's it. You guys have a great, happy, and safe Wednesday. I gotta get out of here. Dad duty is calling. You guys have a great day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:45, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace out. Enjoy your day. Hold on, I forgot. I gotta show this. This was last night. This is Hawk's stream. Do you guys see this?
She's doing what every other fucking woman does in the whole fucking world. No disrespect to any women. I love all of you. I really do. I love titties. But she's doing what every
I'm not
other
even showing you guys. Damn it. I clipped this. Here we go.
Woman does in the whole fucking world. No disrespect to any women. I love all of you. I really do. I love titties.
Okay, bye.
If she don't hawk to her, we don't talk to her.
Perfect.
Eat shit, Gary.